contrary to what the Federal Trade Commission tells people, answering the phone is actually not a bad idea, because when the robocallers are calling, they're having to pay something akin to what us older folks remember with long distance, where you're paying per minute. And if you answer the call, they are then forced to pay. So I answer the phone and make certain that I'm making them pay, even if it's only fractions of a cent. The longer I can keep them on the phone, the more they're going to end up paying. If we all just answered our phone for 1 month solid and kept all of these robocallers on the phone for about a minute at a time, we would bankrupt every robocaller on the planet. We'd make the carriers rich, but we would bankrupt the robocallers.
So what you're saying is answer your phone for revenge.
Absolutely. The only thing that I've been able to do to really make robocallers stop is hit them in their pocketbook. And if they're US-based callers who are just using illegal telemarketing tactics to contact you, there's legal remedies that you can pursue as a consumer. But if they're calling from overseas and they're just scammers, the only way you can hit them in the pocketbook is to actually keep them on the phone and talking as long as possible.
Now, it could be dangerous for people who are not aware that it's a scam, though.
Yeah, there's essentially two kinds of calls that we talk about: the cash calls and the trash calls. The cash calls are the ones that you do have civil remedies available and you can pursue them for cash payment. Then there's the overseas scammers who are just out to fish for your information, whether it's credit card information, banking information, things of that nature. You're never going to be able to take money from those guys unless you just make them pay extra for the calls that they're making. The robocallers are one step ahead of the game at all times. They're going to continue to stay one step ahead because the money is what drives them to continue making these illegal calls. What you as a consumer can do to take your phone back is use the federal laws, and in some cases state laws that are in place, to go after these robocallers. I encourage people, when the calls come in, if you know it's not a scam, if it's the auto warranty companies or health insurance, life insurance, final expense benefits, answer the call, take the call, try to get a little bit of information out of these companies. And if you do, you can track them down. You can go directly to the company or that individual and demand payment from them under federal law. Complaining does nothing. This is kind of a footnote. The Federal Trade Commission, the donotcall.gov website, you can go and complain and report the numbers. But because these numbers are spoofed and they change the number that shows up in your caller ID every single time they call you, that really isn't going to do anything. If you identify the company behind the call and make them pay, then you've got their attention and you actually end up on real do not call lists. The Telephone Consumer Protection Act is a federal statute passed in 1991 that makes it illegal for a telephone solicitor to call you with an automated telephone dialing system, pre-recorded message, and there's some other things like ringless voicemails or those AI type systems, or to call you once your number's been on the National Do Not Call Registry for more than 30 days. So there is a statutory damage built into that particular statutory penalty built into that law that allows consumers to pursue payment anytime you receive those calls.